All right, back for round 4 of the Legacy Challenge. Currently 2-1, so still very much in contention for top 8 and for prizes. So see how this goes. Sometimes it takes a minute for everyone to get into the game because they're it's like a regular Magic tournament. There's round times, so rather than like a league structure. So sometimes people are doing something else on their computer or walking around. Sometimes you'll see me sit down and the clock's 2 or 3 minutes in because I was in the middle of something else and then realized the round started. So looks like my opponent is here now though, which is good. And looking at our opening hand on the draw, this is still a really good hand. It's like a Lion's a Diamond away from winning the game. Has a couple cantrips to find it, or just find more mana. It doesn't necessarily need to be a Lion's a Diamond, but it could win on turn 1 if we drew Lion's a Diamond. So definitely a really strong hand. And then we have multiple pieces of initial mana, fast mana, a couple cantrips to fix out the rest of our hand. And then having multiple Infernal Tutors isn't really bad because they can't really Thoughtseize our only one if they are playing a Thoughtseize deck. And then also you can use Infernal Tutors to find more copies of whatever you need. So, sorry, I'm coughing a little bit. So if our opponent is like playing a lot of counterspells, maybe we draw Duress and then we Infernal to reveal Duress, or it can just be mana on the combo turn. So, but we'll see what they're playing now. It looks like it's probably Dredge. Okay, an okay matchup. This is notably bad against Cabal Therapy, so. Okay, so can we win on the first turn now? We could definitely add Nauseam. Is that what we want to do? I think it doesn't get better for us to wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 mana. So we'd go down to 2, up to 4, up to 5. So we can add Nauseam this turn and then likely have to pass the turn, which I think is probably fine. So I'm going to go for that. So I think we're pretty unlikely to actually win the game this turn because we'll have used 2 Infernal Tutors and 2 Lions of Diamonds and have only 1 mana floating. But so what we can do here is go Infernal Tutor, reveal Lions of Diamond. The alternative is that we could try to cantrip into a Ritual. But I think that we're likely enough to win on the following turn through a Cabal Therapy. Well, this is actually kind of an interesting decision. So up to 4, up to 5. So if we cantrip into a Dark Ritual, a Lion's Diamond, or a Cabal Ritual, we will win. Off 2 cantrips. What's more likely, that or Ad Nauseam getting there? So that's 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, or the Tendrils. So 1, 2, 3 cards, 7, 8, 9. So we have 4 looks, 7 looks at a 9 of. I think that has to be the line. I'm going to go for that. So what we're going to do here is get Past in Flames, and then cast it, and then cast Dark Ritual, and then use this Infernal Tutor to get another Lion's of Diamond. So it's actually 1 less LED than I thought. And then we're going to cast Ponder first. Do we want to shuffle this? I think we do. Okay, now we lose, unless we find LED. Shoot. Well, now I wish I would have not done that, I guess. Maybe Ad Nauseam was just better. Because I didn't really think about how a cantrip drawing a land would lose us the game. So maybe we're supposed to add Nauseam. Looks kind of silly now in hindsight, but I think that we had enough looks at those cantrips, like any Dark Ritual or Cabal Ritual on the first one. But I think that it was a problem that if we draw a land off that Ponder that we're in a bad spot. So maybe I'm supposed to leave with Preordain there, but then that makes it different. So We're still not necessarily dead here. Like, we draw lines of diamond, we're still in an okay spot, but... Yeah, our opponent was going to do a lot of powerful things. So my problem with Ad Nauseam was that we could just lose to our opponent going nuts and Cabal Therapying us this turn. And I was a little worried about that. So, not exactly sure what the highest percentage play is if you went, like, calculate it all out or whatever. Although it does feel unlikely that we're going to win this game now. I didn't mess up my mana or anything, I just took a calculated risk. Because the thing is, if you Ad Nauseam with just one mana floating and only 2 LEDs left in your deck, you're pretty unlikely to be able to get Hellbent, and that was my kind of main concern. But it's Ad Nauseam from 19 with a mana floating, which... that might maybe just is better, so I'm not sure. Wow, they blind named Dark Ritual too. Alright, we're not going to be able to win now. I think we have 0 outs. Okay, so bring in Veil of Summer. They oftentimes have like ley lines, so I like bringing in those cards. I also think Flusterstorm's fine. I don't really like Thoughtseize against our opponent's deck. I also think the Swamp is kind of medium, and I bring in 3 answers to Leyline. I think the problem with Thoughtseize is it's like, it doesn't do anything. I don't know. You don't want to have too much disruption against them. I think the Flusterstorm and Veil Summer's protecting you from Cabal Therapy is a little bit better. And then having Durestic, like, break through LED or whatever is fine, but I'd rather have the one that... Because there's no creatures that you care about that you take except for Fairy Macabre, so... And they so rarely play Fairy Macabre now. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking I maybe should have Ad Nauseam there. It was a tough call. I think the fact that I'm going to get one of the LEDs out of my deck with Infernal Tutor, which reduces one of my outs, and then also that I don't actually have that many looks. I really only have 4 looks because of I don't have enough mana if I brick. So I think that I kind of considered that, but decided it was worth the risk. But the more I've thought about it, even not just thinking in hindsight, I think it was correct to make a different play. Cool. I'm going to keep this hand. So I'm probably going to Brainstorm on turn 1 here, with the plan to preordain into Ad Nauseam on turn 2, if that's possible. But yeah, should have just Ad Nauseamed. Lesson learned. That's one thing about Ant that I really like, is that I think every time I play this deck, I like to make mistakes and learn something new. Like, I made that mistake against Delver, but that was more me just playing a little too quickly. And you're just always learning new things. Alright, we'll put him, we'll go to 4. So I'm going to Brainstorm on turn 1, because I'm planning to Brainstorm on turn 2 anyways, so... Hide Ad Nauseam, then Dark Ritual, I believe. And then just play out these cards. Yeah, it's a pretty common card that they play. It turns off Pachuca Bog and Tormod Script, which is the reason they play it. And also I think that our deck's a pretty tough matchup for them, so... Yep. I think they might name Dark Ritual here, which is why I put it on top of my deck. Oh, they're targeting themselves. And they have a Breakthrough. Oh, they have a really good hand. Alright, well, I'm going to be able to, at the very least, address that. So what I can do here is this, and then I can do this, and this, hold priority, cast this, and then in response crack this for blue, and then this will see Threshold, so it'll have 7 cards in my graveyard, and then Preordain or Resolve, I'll bottom the Duress and top the Ad Nauseam and draw it, and then I get to cast Ad Nauseam. I'm going to leave 3 blue floating. So you just need to find a Lion's Eye Diamond now to win. Alright. Still haven't quite gotten there. Now we have flips that kill us, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Preordain. Bottom both of these. Prudent again. There's an Infernal Tutor, but that's not what we need right here. We need a Lions of Diamond. Oh, we have a land drop left too. Jeez. Well, Brainstorm. Okay, now we get to Duress, so we'll be doing okay. What do I want to shuffle away? I guess we're shuffling away Echoing Truth. Yeah, we probably want that in our hand. We'll get rid of some fetch lands. So we'll get rid of an island and a Misty Rainforest. And then we'll play this with the plan to get our Bayou, which I believe is still in our deck. So I want to make sure that it is. Oh, they have a Leyline of Sanctity, so we can't duress them. Shoot. Well, I can Chain of Vapor then duress them, but that could be bad against some things, but I think we'll be okay. So, Chain of Vapor this. So it's bad against them, like discarding us next turn or whatever, but they have to hit it off like they just have the one dredge off the Stinkweed Imp at this point. We'll get rid of Misty Rainforest here. And one of our Veil of Summers, I guess. Because we can Echoing Truth and Ichorid too if we need to. Or multiple Ichorids even. Alright, they bricked, so we have another turn. Well, they hit like another Dredger and stuff, but they didn't hit anything that has an effect in their graveyard. Cool, I think we win now. Do we? So 1, 2, 3 mana, and then we have 6, 9, down to 5. So I think it should be Storm Count is the only concern here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we can cast this 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have enough mana, so now we can win. That's another reason to shave on Thought Seizes, is that your opponent could have Leyline of Sanctity. Take their Leyline. Take their Leyline. And cast Tendrils. For 20. I'm just going to resubmit. I like how I separated mostly. There's some consideration for like having a land in the deck over the Echoing Truth, but I think 3 answers to the Leyline and stuff is kind of nice. Like, I don't like just having 2. Also, sometimes you Echoing Truth like a Storm of Goblin tokens. The reason I'm boarding out Dark Petition is because of Leyline of the Void. Same reason I'm boarding out the Second Mass in Flames. Our opponent didn't reveal it, but that is oftentimes a card that they play. And it sucks because Dark Petition and Pass in Flames is really good against not that. Like, it's really good against their deck strategy. But also, not all my Dredge opponents even always board in that card. But I think that card is like way better than Sanctity against Storm. Because it stops me from actually starting my combo, whereas Leyline of Sanctity just stops me from casting Tendrils of Agony. Alright, this is a good hand. We're mana short of winning the game, but we do have an Ad Nauseam. And we're just 1 mana away, so we can duress our opponent, and that stops a lot of their very best hands that are not like the LED breakthrough hands. And then we're just 1 mana away from winning, so we're going to keep this. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would have won that first game. It's really, you just never know how good or bad Ad Nauseam is going to be. Like, you saw at that game, we had an even better Ad Nauseam position than we were in that first game, and we had to pass and stuff, but maybe in that first game we duress our opponent. I think with the black floating, since the fail rate is just duressing our opponent's breakthrough or whatever. But we couldn't have duressed Seth at the Coliseum, but we don't know that now. I don't know, I just like to think about if I could have played the game differently. So they kept 7, which is scary. So hopefully they don't have breakthrough LED. There's LED. Most of the ways they win this matchup involve this card. Oh, Deafening Silence, goodness. I can't believe they're playing that. They are. Alright, I'm going to lead on Duress here with the plan to hold up Fluster next turn, / Echoing Truth end of turn if we need to. Okay. So they're at least a turn removed from doing something really broken. So maybe I want both my Echoing Truths now with that consideration. They might just cast an Archimedes here. Probably a fairly reasonable thing to do. Yeah, I think I would do that. You're not using your mana otherwise, because their plan here is to crack LED, discard the Stinkweed Imp, and then they can activate Cephalid Colosseum next turn. So I'm going to hold up Flusterstorm if I need to, but I would obviously prefer to Echoing Truth the Deafening Silence. And their draw is another Cephalid Colosseum. Right. So Dredge 5, they hit an Archimedes and another Dredger, and a Cabal Therapy. So it really depends a lot on what they hit here off this Cephalid Colosseum, on if I want a Flusterstorm or not. The Cabal Therapy, because I think that they're fairly likely to name Dark Ritual. Yeah, they don't have a ton going on next turn, although I'm taking a significant amount of damage. So I'm going to Flusterstorm this Cabal Therapy once they cast it. Then they could hit another Cabal Therapy, and that's so bad for me. Oh, they're just not going to cast it. Maybe they're worried about Veil of Summer, which is a reasonable concern. I think I would have still cast it, though. Go to our turn. Alright, so is there a way that we can get Threshold? I think not. Dark Ritual, that's 4 cards, that's 5 cards, that's 6 or 7. Yeah, so there's not quite a way that we can get Threshold, but we can still cast Ad Nauseam with essentially what's 2 mana floating. So I feel reasonably favored from here. Now Lion's Eye Diamond basically does it. There's another Lotus Petal. There's a Total Agony. I think that does it now. Now we have 7 cards in our graveyard, so we can do Cabal Ritual. There's a few ways that we can do this, actually, because we can reveal Lotus Petal, but I think it doesn't matter a ton. I think that no matter how we play this turn, we're just going to win because we already have lethal. I guess we can dress our opponent now, and take their Deafening Silence, and then we'll do Tendrils 20. Cool, yeah, so kind of made a judgment call game 1, which I think ended up being a punt. We were able to get the match. Again, it's a pretty good matchup. We're a pretty similar deck, but we don't really care about their creatures, and we have like Ad Nauseam and Past in Flames is really powerful win the game on the spot catch-up mechanics. So 3-1 now, and back for round number 5 next.